Okay, g'day again. Alright, we're getting close to being finished here. So, finished making it anyway. So I've got I corrected the angle of the back in the previous video. Didn't have this back piece right, so I'd cut it all down, opened it up, welded another piece in there. So we've got that all good now. Put the holes in the flanges. I've threaded the flange plate, and just sat it on there, made sure I've got clearance and everything. I've got just enough clearance at the back here. Not going to focus, but anyway. Got clearance here on the pump. So got plenty actually. Could have come down another 10 mil lower, but anyway, that's fine. This is pretty much level with the air filter tube, so we're good. Pretty close to being level. It did pull up, so I tacked it here and I tacked it around the side, and when I put the tack around the side, it did actually twist that little bit, so yeah. When I pull that down, that'll be level, like level with the top of the fan. That's what I'm based on. But this, I did notice afterwards that after I tacked it that it's not quite straight. Whether that even matters, but it's could do with a little bit of a tweak. So we might look at that. So I mean, I still got to check how the actual venturis in the base plate line up, make sure there's nothing going to interfere with it yet anyway, so when I go to fully weld that plate on, so which I can't do that with the carby sitting on there anyway. So, but yeah, I just probably didn't really need to tack it on with the carby on there. I just wanted to make sure everything was had clearance. One thing I did do, which I didn't mention in the previous video, I'd already done, was I unbolted the generator and the fan, moved it quarter of a turn, 45 degrees. So yeah, fortunately all these bolts, they're perfectly the same distance. So yeah, just unbolted it, turned it one turn, bolted it back in. That was to get these terminals out of the way of the carby, because they'd have been just here, so they were a bit too close. But yeah, so all that's good. Even though I've got clearance on here now, I was hitting on it before until I ground the weld off, but I've since realised I haven't left room for the clamp that goes around the generator, so yeah, I will have to just take that corner off the stand here where I've marked it. That will give me enough room for the clamp, the generator clamp. What else can I show you? Oh yeah, I've started with the throttle linkage. That's what this piece is. It's only tacked on there. What this will do, I'll have a linkage welded on there, which will connect to the cable. The cable runs through this original position, is this centre hole. So there'll be a piece coming up there attaching to the cable. There'll be another piece welded on here, which will come out, and then have a rod coming up to this linkage. But I'll detail all of that. What I've got to do, I'm going to go searching for my parts, because I know I've got a proper linkage thing, with the adjustable rod and ball joint fittings, and I think it's a motorcycle gear shift linkage actually, but I've got one somewhere, so I'm going to go searching for that and because I've got that, I might as well use it, which is a whole lot better than just drilling holes and things, putting rods in that, that eventually wear out anyway, so, yeah. The other bit, because I'd already modified the cable tube, that's what this other hole is. I had it coming down at an angle to go up to the previous carby, the Stromberg. I found it did put a little bit of drag on the cable. It's probably more to do with the fact that there's actually a bend in the cable. I've got to straighten the cable. And that was my own doing. I forgot about it one time when I was mounting the engine, and I jammed it between the gearbox and the clutch. But anyway, it's better to keep it straight. So yeah, I worked out that straight line from where it comes through, which is that mark on there. I'll come down 25 mil. 25 mil is the length from the centre of your butterfly shaft to where the cable comes on, and that's on the original Solex 25 mil. So that's what I'm working from with all my linkages. So that's why this is down here. You go 25 mil up to the cable, 25 mil out here. I'll weld a new piece. It's hard to cut these. Well, you can't see it because it's behind these nuts, behind the nut, but there's a square slot in it, and it's really difficult to actually cut that, get it all exactly in the right place and make it fit tight and everything else. I had that issue once before, and it's a difficult thing to do. So what I'd be doing is actually cutting this off and welding a piece onto the linkage that already fits on there. So yeah, there'll be a rod coming coming out from here somewhere. I'll probably turn this around, take it off, turn it around the other way, and have a piece extending out from here to where the rod is. Because I'd modified the tube that holds the cable. I've gone looking for another suitable bit of pipe, and I found this is an old bit of fuel line. It's actually copper, which is a good thing too, because it won't be rusted. And I had this fitting on it, which was loose. So didn't have these washers on it. They're sort of jammed on a little bit. They're a little bit tight, so I won't bother taking them off. But yeah, I soldered that onto the wire. See, being brass and copper, it's soldered in there quite solidly. And actually, one of these washers will have to come off anyway, because one of the washers is going to go at the back. So yeah, I'm going, bought a nut to fit it. Lucky to get that actually. That's this is the gas thread. They're not that easy to get nuts and bolts for them, but anyway, I've managed it. So that will run through that hole. And in the original Volkswagen, they have, like, the only thing that holds that tube in place is a spring that runs around your cable. And yeah, they sort of wobble around, rattle, and they're not that great an idea. So because this will have that nut will then be going on the back. I'll have to unbolt the fan and the generator and fit this in first, and weld up all the other holes again. But that will now be able to clamp tight onto the fan housing, so it won't be wobbling around. It'll need just a little bit of flex at the back here. So like that hole in the back is that size to begin with, and it's allowing the air to blow out through that hole. I previously had a bit of foam on there, but so as I was saying, when it's bolted to the fan housing on the front, it will still have that little bit of flex. It'll be sort of tight, but it'll still flex enough for fitting it in and everything. So yeah, I'll get a bit of rubber sheet and punch a hole in it, and I'll get this roughly in the centre position of where it's going, and I'll glue or rivet or something that on the back of it. So yeah, it's not going to rattle, but still have a little bit of movement when it's needed. As I said, I did try that into the cable, which is still attached to the gearbox. Got all my measurements and cut that correctly. I said the line is a straight line from its position up to here. That's 25 down to where I've tacked the mount on. I've got, from this point here, there's 120 mil of cable from this point here to where it touches to your linkage. So so it's sort of out here somewhere. And that's with the throttle shut right off, with the cable fully extended. So it should sort of work all right. It'll be, we'll go from there to there. So you have to measure the amount of travel as well, because you got to work all these things out when you're making the linkage, so that you get a full amount of throttle, so that it's not opening too quick or too slow. Like you want this, the throttle to open pretty much the same speed as it would have originally on the Solex, like the same amount of accelerator pedal to go from nothing to full throttle. So, and all of that is governed by the length of your linkages. But anyway, I'll cover all that in detail when I get it made. And so that's where we're up to. Gonna unbolt the carby now, and tweak it a little bit more, get it lined up a bit straighter, and we'll fully weld that. What I did do is that I put threads into this plate, and like they actually are sitting right above the four corners, these threads. And I was thinking, oh, well, that's not an issue, I'll weld the studs in, But I can't really do that, because I've got to clean up the top of the plate. I've got to file it all flat after I've welded it. Like, there's a possibility of it getting a little bit of warpage and everything. Even though it's 10 mil thick, it still could warp that little bit when I fully weld it. So, all of that cleanup has to be done after you finish welding. And you can't do that with the studs in it. So, to make sure I don't actually weld the studs in at the underneath, I'm going to have to actually cut the corners back on here. Got some V's in it, put some plates in there just so that I can weld it without the weld sticking to the studs. This is the way it goes when you're building things. You're always having to adapt things, and potential problems present themselves as you go, and you've got to deal with it. But so we basically got it done, and I'm really keen to know that it's going to work now. And but I'm going to have to wait several weeks now. The reason I wanted to do this, because I'm rebuilding the engine on this, so the reason I wanted to do this before I started rebuilding the engine is so that I don't have to worry about dirt and metal shavings and everything else going down the side of the engine. So, but having said that, I can't go testing it now until after I've pulled the engine down. There's so much shit that's gone down these ports. It's gone down through the oil filler. You know, the carby's full of, you know, metal dust. I mean, not the carby, the distributor's all full of metal dust now. And dirt, so yeah, I can't even risk winding this motor over by hand now. There's just so much shit in there. So, yep, get this finished welding, and then I'll have to start rebuilding the engine, and I won't know how it works until I've rebuilt the engine. And even then, I won't be opening this second barrel until, I've done 100 k's or so and run the engine in. So, yeah, just gonna have to be a little bit patient. All right, well, thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one. Bye.